Tonight, we take a look into the world of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Awesome!
Yeah!
Let's do it.
Welcome to FMTV. Today, we're here at Outer Plains Comics and Games in Santa Rosa, the ultimate hotspot for collectors, traders, or just admirers. This store has every comic you can imagine, including Power Rangers. If you grew up in the 90s, you're no stranger to the 5 teens from Angel Grove High who came together to battle giant monsters. With 3 movies and over 20 seasons of television, Power Rangers are clearly one of the biggest pop culture icons around. Tonight, Outer Plains' own Darren Diggs is going to tell us more.
Power Rangers started in the 90s, about 94, and it was taken from a show in Japan called Super Sentai. And the season of Super Sentai was Kyoryu Sentai Zoo Ranger, which is already in the 16th season, where Mighty Morphin Power Rangers took the action scene, which is from. You see them like to look at the monster, they have to call their Zords. That was Japanese footage, but with America's dubbing over it. And then when they would unmorph or go back to the command center, it'd be the American footage. And they just fused them together and they'd do cutscenes. But what was really brilliant with Mighty Morphin is they did a thing where they could teleport with their communicators. So that's easy to cut through scenes. So when they morphed, it was easily, like the American actors were literally, boom, right in the Japanese scenes. It was the easy way to cut it. And kids, if I was one of them, I never knew the difference, and it worked.
Rangers together!
This became bigger and bigger and popular. It's still going strong to this day, and at one point, Disney actually bought Power Rangers and did one season called RPM, didn't really do anything, and the Saban brought it back and re-pushed it and put more merchandise with it, and there's actually a Power Morphicon down in Pasadena for just all things Power Rangers, and kept the seasons going, and it's still Super Sentai still going strong in Japan, and Power Rangers still going strong here, and they're still fusing them and still using the Japanese footage and the suits, and still using teenagers with attitude.
You ever wonder what it was like to be a Power Ranger? We sat down with Red Ranger Jason Font to find out.
Time forward! Time forward! Time forward!
When you went through and you auditioned for it, what was your awareness level of Rangers themselves?
Well, I auditioned for it the previous 2 years. I didn't get it. And then I auditioned again the year before, didn't get it. So on the third try, I was on a soap opera called Passions. So I had been doing soaps and different things, but it was just like I was on an episode for three episodes. It was just, I was still bartending. So I knew all about the show. I just knew that I auditioned for a lot of stuff, and this was one that kind of slipped by me twice. Okay, they want to see me a third time, let's go on up to Santa Clarita, right? That's where we filmed. So I kind of thought, well, I've done this before, maybe won't get it again, so it didn't really click until I actually booked it.
There had to be a difference, going from something like Passions to something like Rangers, which is, action-based and superhero pretty much.
It was cool. I mean, being on set with soap operas, you're in a studio, they've got that 3-camera setup going on, they move quick, they move very quick. Power Rangers was a 1-camera setup, so they really made sure to get the coverage and all that. But the physical side of it, the fact that every day we were shooting on the beach or in the desert or on the set, it was kind of cool because every day was so different, and I liked that a lot versus just the same location as it was the soap operas.
So I know they've done reunion episodes. How was it going into those reunion episodes and seeing all these other people that have shared the same role as you?
I've been back 3 or 4 times now. The Red Ranger reunion was pretty cool. That was a bunch of testosterone at one time. And I wasn't sure going in how that would be, but once I met everybody, it's a real fraternity. And those reunion episodes are a lot of fun. And it's kind of like going back to see your high school friends, so it was a lot of fun.
What was that initial reaction for you when you realized the scope of it?
We would have Make-A-Wish Foundation come in. So that was the one little component that I realized. We would have kids that would come in who were terminally ill, and their last wish was to come meet the Power Rangers. So I realized, I think when we had those visits on set, how powerful that was, that these kids from different parts of the world were coming in to meet us. I was like, wow, this is bigger than I thought.
I mean, yeah, it creates a bigger meaning.
Yeah.
That's what it is you were doing.
Yeah.
What else do you think lends to the longevity that Power Rangers have been able to experience?
I think that's the secret nobody knows. That's the secret sauce, right? I mean, it's whatever formula they did, it worked. What I think they're doing now is they're aging the show a bit with the way the movie was created. They've been bringing back a lot of OG Rangers from before to guest star back on the show. And I think that's paying homage to the previous season. I think the current fans like that. But in terms of what keeps it on the map like that, it's been 23 years. It's been an amazing, amazing run.
I had the opportunity to watch the new movie, and I did notice it was a good blend of nostalgia of what I saw in those first couple seasons when I was a kid,
Right.
and modernization of it.
Right.
Did you have a chance to see the movie?
Oh, absolutely. I got there the second day, and I really liked it. I thought, and I'm really critical of that stuff. I thought the new cast did a great job. I've met a few of those guys, and I liked there was some adult humor in there. I thought they aged it, so it was good.
And I can imagine. I mean, you got that personal investment in it.
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, yeah.
If the opportunity presents itself, do you see yourself going back again to the show, or even try it out in the movie?
Yeah, if the opportunity presented itself, I would definitely be back, for sure.
Stay tuned. When we come back, we'll talk to two Power Rangers, Steven Skyler and Allison McGinnis. Welcome back to FMTV. I'm Phil Kim. From its beginning, Power Rangers had become one of the most popular children's shows in history. In fact, its toys, costumes, and merchandise has generated billions of dollars to date, and a large part of the show's popularity can be attributed to the actors who portrayed these brightly colored teen superheroes. We met two fan favorites when we spoke with Allison McGinnis and Steven Skyler.
Samurai Morpher! Go Power!
How is it being part of something that's so huge internationally?
It was crazy. When I got my first audition for it, I actually asked, "Are you sure? You want me to audition for this?" Okay, yes. It was amazing. It's a legacy.
For me, the shock didn't really set in until after we finished filming. I didn't really grow up watching Power Rangers. I traveled a lot, so we didn't watch a lot of TV at home. So after I auditioned, I YouTubed it, found out there was a huge cult following for it, so it didn't really set in until after.
Did you go in with any color preference for one of the Rangers?
Of course. I wanted to be pink. I went in auditioning for yellow, so I was beyond stoked when they gave me pink.
What was your reactions when you realized the scope of it?
My season, there wasn't really this thing called social media. It didn't really exist. So we didn't get to interact with our fans except through fan mail, which 95% of it did not come to us. It went to corporate, and I have no idea where it ended up, but it's a shame we didn't get to interact with our fans. I'm happy that the current seasons have social media, and that we now do too, because we see the scope and the range. We have fans in countries I didn't even know existed.
What do you think has lended to having such a longevity, even without the social media that happened before? I mean, it's been over 20 years now, and the show's still going strong and known everywhere.
First off, the color, the nonstop action, the crazy imagination of the monsters, and then people turning into superheroes, and it's just, as you get older, you understand the teamwork and working together as a team, and the underdog coming up and stuff like that.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's an underdog system unless you work together, and they really instill values that most shows today there's nothing there. This show still does that. It teaches kids friendship and family and always take care of each other. and you can overcome the bad guys.
I think initially it's just the action.
Of course, the explosions. Explosions. We had gasoline explosions that were building stories tall in the middle of cities. People would be walking down the streets just, the heck are they? Oh, Power Rangers.
You know, stuntmen wear the suits, do all that stuff. You guys ever tempted to be like, you know, let us have a try here?
Originally, they could do their own stunts. The first seasons did all of their own stunts for the most part, just the very dangerous stunts, obviously not. But they were very active in what they could do on screen. Then came the union with a little bit more rules saying we don't want to take the chance. Then came me. I really wanted to, but I was what the lead stunt guy called a cream puff, and I ended up shattering my leg training to do the stunts. So it came down, no more attempted stunts for any Rangers. When I actually went for my reunion episode and met that cast, they said, "Oh, you're that one." Yeah, thanks a lot.
You pretty much sealed it.
And it is incredibly dangerous, some of the stuff that they do. Their stunt work is, like, the world should know the caliber of these stuntmen. They are amazing. Alpha Stunts, shout out. You guys are awesome.
They recently had the new movie coming out. Did you guys have a chance to see it?
Good.
Yeah, it came out on my
absolutely did.
birthday, so we
Any
went.
thoughts on the new direction?
You want my honest thoughts?
Why not?
I think it was great. I thought it was great. I think it was very story driven. I wish there was a little bit more action in it, but overall I thought it was phenomenal.
And the Rangers, great selection. I like them all, especially the pink. She's brilliant.
I just
But
wanted more fighting.
I did too, but I'm a huge fan of the Breakfast Club movie, and this was kind of a nice crossover. It felt like kind of the Breakfast Club Power Rangers, which was the whole way through. I was like, I like this. This is good.
You know, you spoke about interacting with the fans from all different countries before. You know, you guys have any stories that have really stuck with you from interacting with a certain fan?
Yeah, I mean, have had multiple people come up to me and say how it's helped them through tough times, depression, they were bullied, and that for me gives me a sense of a purpose of why I'm doing this. You know, just to see their faces light up, and it really has impacted people. So, I mean, there's multiple stories, there's countless stories, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint one.
Some of the best stories I've encountered are parents that say their autistic children didn't interact with the world until they were introduced to Power Rangers, and with the action figures in hand and maybe a morpher on their wrist, all of a sudden they're leaving the house and they're looking up and they're standing straight and they're just completely different. That's amazing.
Next up, August Rigoni talks to us about the actors who suited up to play some of Japan's most iconic superheroes.
It's famous monsters of filmland, Halloween Bash.
That's right. October 27th through the 29th, this year in San Jose Convention Center, we have people from Neil Gaiman's American Gods, George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, Bela Lugosi. Oh, it's fantastic.
And also the last remaining creature of the Black Lagoon, Rico Browning, and its famous monsters of filmland, Halloween Bash.
Welcome back. We're here at Outer Plains Comics and Games. Tonight we've been talking a lot about Power Rangers, but they weren't the first Japanese show to take over American TV. In fact, in the 70s, Ultraman, Spectreman, and Space Giants were the rage. Our own August Rigoni is here to teach us a little bit about Ultraman 101.
Ultraman came from Galaxy M78 with extraordinary powers to protect Earth.
The evolution of the Japanese superhero, from Ultraman to the Power Rangers, the origins all go back quite a ways, and you go to Japanese folklore. A lot of Robin Hood type characters in Japanese literature would be a masked guy who rides into town, who has a secret identity. It's similar to Batman, but they didn't even know about Batman at the time. But you would have these guys that would ride in on a horse in feudal Japan to right wrongs, but he's like, by day he's like a foppish rich boy that doesn't seem to care about anything, but at night he puts on the mask and he rights wrongs. That's sort of where it all starts, but the first legitimate Japanese superhero on TV was in the late 50s called Moonlight Mask, who was basically an updated version of those horseback Avengers, where he wears a turban and a white mask and a white outfit and a cape, and he rides a motorcycle and has 6 shooters. And that became a huge giant hit in Japan, and that eventually evolved into like the Ultraman type character, which was really truly like the first masked, fully costumed character.
Oh, Ultraman, dear. Yes.
The Power Rangers' popularity has grown so big that it's even spread over to the ever-growing mobile gaming world, with Power Rangers Legacy Wars, which you can download now free on Android and iOS. Battle players around the world in real time, with over 60 playable characters from the Power Rangers heroes to their villains. The game collects from over 20 seasons of the TV series, the new movie, and even Draken, the evil alternate version of Tommy Oliver from the current comic book series from Boom Studios. Form your team of 3 to battle Rita Repulsa's forces in famous locations from the movie and TV show. From the amazing graphics, a dynamic character upgrading system, and a dedicated team constantly working on the game to keep up with the players' feedback, Power Rangers Legacy Wars is sure to be morphin' onto everyone's mobile devices this fall. For more information on Power Rangers Legacy Wars, you can go to playlegacywars.com.
Coming up next, we spend a little time at Outer Plains Comics and Games. Tonight, we've been talking a lot about Power Rangers. So if you want to collect a comic, come down and check this place out. We did.
Outer Plains, it is a cool place to come for comics, collectibles, and games of all types. A friend of mine introduced me to comic books in '89. I kind of fell in love with that. I've been doing this ever since. It's just fun to watch little kids' faces light up when they see one of their favorite characters in a comic book, and you know, that's how comics have been around for 50 years. There's always that little kid that walks into the store and discovers something. I still enjoy reading comic books, but my passion is role-play games like D&D and Star Wars and some of the other ones. We carry everything from the brand new releases every Wednesday all the way to vintage comics from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And then on the games, we do board games, role-play games, card games. Magic is the biggest one, takes up about a third of our store. We do big events for it, but we also do Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh games for the kids. We have a big back room for gaming. People just come down, hang out, have a good time, play some games with friends. Kind of creates a community for people that have like interests. So it's been 25 years. I'm not running out of steam yet. I enjoy it. Outer Plains will exist forever. It'll exist way past I'm gone. That'll be my legacy to the world.
If you want to learn more about Outer Plains Comics and Games, go to facebook.com/outer.plains. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. But if you're interested in anything that's Famous Monsters related, like our conventions, our magazines, or anything monster related, go to famousmonsters.com. We will see you next time.